Today's lesson is the review for Quiz 2-1. I'm going to go over some of the questions that you are going to see on your quiz in Delta Math today. The first question I want to go over is this one right here. Draw a line representing the rise and a line representing the run of the line. State the slope of the line in its simplest form. So if you recall from your assignment in Delta Math, what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and select your perfect corner point. So let me grab the yellow. And what you might want to do is you might want to zoom in because remember, you want to pick perfect corner points. You want to pick a point that is in one of the corners. Uh-oh, hold on a second. Something's going on. That's in, there we go, in one of the corner boxes on the blue line of your graph. You do not want to pick a point that's, say, like right here or there. Okay, so this point right here would not be a good point because it's inside one of the boxes. This would not be a good point because it's on the line, but it's in the corner of the box. However, this point right here looks like a good point. This point right here looks like a good point. There's a good one. There's another good one. Maybe the arrow at the bottom, maybe this one right here, but I don't know. It's an arrow, so I think I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick any one of these to go ahead and start my rise over my run. Remember, in Delta Math, you have to make the triangle. You have to make the rise and the run become a right triangle from any of these 2 points. It wants it in simplest form, so I would probably pick 2 consecutive ones, like this one and the one right next to it, that one, or this one and the one right next to it, that one. This ensures that we keep it as simple as possible. If I were to pick this one and that one, I'm going to more than likely have to reduce my fraction by simply dividing in my calculator or my head. But if I go from here to there, then I'm reducing my chance of having to actually reduce. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go from this point to that point. If I follow my notes, I can already decide if this is a positive or a negative slope. By looking at my notes in lesson 2.2, I can see that this is a negative slope. If I follow my notes, then I should go down from the left point and then to the right. So this point would be my left point. This point would be my right point. So I'm going to go ahead and go in a downward motion until I'm even with the other point. Oops, I went too far. I'm going to go down until I'm even with the other point, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the right. I do have to come back and I do have to count. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick a lighter color here so that I can count. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is 3, and then I'm going to go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, I'm counting every block that I go. I'm not counting the points, so it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not what I'm doing. I'm counting the blocks that I move. So that's why it's 3, and that's why you're seeing me make the little loops. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and for my answer, I'm going to say, let me zoom out just a bit. I'm going to go over here, and I do believe Delta Math is going to have the word slope, and then it's going to have a box for you to put your answer in. In this box, I'm going to put negative 3/4. And that's it. There's my answer. All right, let's take a look at our next question. Our next question asks, what is the slope of a line that passes through the points 2, 3 and 0, 11. Write your answer in simplest form. This simply means that it wants it to be as simplified as possible. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a piece of paper. Maybe I'm just going to use my notebook, and I'm going to grab the formula from my notes from lesson 2.1 and then again in 2.2. The formula says I'm going to take y2 and I'm going to subtract from it y1. And on the bottom, I'm going to divide that by x2 minus x1. Let me grab the right color. There we go. Now I'm going to look at my two ordered pairs, and I'm going to say the x's are the first numbers. And it's tradition to call the first one x1 and the second one x2. The second numbers inside of the parentheses are the y's. y1 goes with x1, y2 goes with x2. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to my paper, and I'm going to start substituting. My y's are going to go on the top, y2 minus y1. My x's are going to go on the bottom, x2 minus x1. Remember, if you'd like to, you can place them in parentheses. So you could place all of, you could place all of these numbers in parentheses, and you could use that in your calculator as well. You could go ahead and place this whole thing right here into your calculator, and it will spit out the simplest form for you. Now, I do not have a calculator, so I'm going to go ahead and use my brain. 11 minus 3 is 8, and 0 minus 2 is negative 2. I'm going to now go ahead and divide 8 by negative 2. Since they are both even, I know that it will divide. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4, and this is my simplest form. But once again, you put this into the calculator, and the calculator will say that right there for you, and there's your answer. All right, I only have one last question that I want to go over with you today, and that is to graph the following features. Remember, when you are asked to graph, when you are given the slope and the y-intercept, that the slope is m for my movement, and the y-intercept is b for the beginning. So we're going to start right here at the beginning, which is 5. Remember that 5 must go on the y-axis. Watch your axis on Delta Math, because I took this picture right off of Delta Math. There's y and there's x. So right here on this graph, I want to go ahead and find the number 5, and I want to place my point. From there, I'm now going to do my movement. The slope is telling me how to move. Since it's negative, I'm going to go down 3 and then 2 to the right. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 to the right. If you have done your assignment, you'll remember that as you move, the graph moves with you. So as you count that down 2 and to the, or sorry, down 3 and to the right 2, the line comes with you, and it just all of a sudden shows up right like that. And it's very movable. It starts to kind of do, it kind of starts to do this thing as you start to move it. And so you just have to get it into the right position, and it will place itself, and then it will, of course, put its arrows on as well. And that's it. Good luck.